Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is how to make 2 boxes in one go from one sheet of cardstock, and I have designed these specifically for my friend Jax, who is an artisan soap maker in the south of France. So I'll make sure to put links to her website on my blog and pictures of her stunning creations. Oh my goodness, her soaps are just to die for. But she asked me if I could make a box in a specific set of measurements for her, which in metric is 2.5 centimetres that way, 5 centimetres that way, and 10 centimetres that way, which in imperial is 1 inch, 2 inches and 4 inches. And when I was coming up with something that was going to be quick for her to make, because she makes a lot of soaps and wants to send them out, I decided that rather than having a separate box and lid or using something with the envelope punch board, which actually uses more cardstock, I came up with one that you could get 2 boxes in one go out of one sheet of cardstock. So I'm going to show you how to make it. Now, her colours that she wanted were black and white. I've done them in black here. I'm going to work on Naturals Ivory, but just that's only because you can't see score lines very well on black on camera. So that's why I'm working on this one. But if you want to make one box, you start with a piece of paper, or card rather, that's 10 by 27.5 centimetres, which is 11 by 4 inches. But if you want to do 2, you need a piece of cardstock that is 27.5 centimetres, or 11 inches, so you trim it down, by 20 centimetres, which is 8 inches. Okay, so that's the first thing you do. So this is to get 2 boxes. And because Jax is in France and they work in metric over there, I'm going to work in metric for her. So I'm losing this is my cutting blade and this is my scoring blade up here. So I'm moving the cutting one out of the way. And on the long side, I'm going to score it at 2.5 centimetres, which is just here. 2.5 centimetres, 1 inch. And I'm going to slide it up to 12.5 centimetres, which would be 5 inches, then up to 15 centimetres, which is 6 inches. I've lost my measurements, and then up to 25 centimetres, which would be 10 inches. Okay, so that's on the long side, and then turn it round, and I'm going to score it again at 2.5 centimetres, which is 1 inch. And then I'm going to score it at 7.5 centimetres, which is 3 inches. And I'm going to slide it up. Now you have a choice. You can either cut it at this point at 10 centimetres, which is 4 inches, or you can carry on to 12.5 centimetres, 5 inches, and then up again to, I've lost my markings, 17.5, which is 7 inches. So that looks a bit crazy there, doesn't it? And then you come back and you're going to cut down the middle at 10 centimetres, 4 inches. And that's your 2 boxes scored. There we go. See that? Clever, huh? 2 boxes exactly the same size. Done via scoring off one sheet of paper. So now to come along and score. And I'm going to do these in 2 ways, because depending on how many, if you are a soaper like Jax, you might want to make a load of these and put these into storage, or you might want to make them to order. You know, as somebody buys a soap, you make the box for it. But I'm going to show you the 2 different ways to close this. So I'm just folding all of those. So the first way is a way that I've done plenty of times. Holding it in this fashion, you cut up your 4 score lines and notch in. I'm not going to notch because obviously I'm doing 2 boxes in one video, but I'm going to go for speed today. So that is one. The other one, if you want to do a fold flat box, you have got the 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines here. Choose the second in. It doesn't matter whether it's coming from the left and the right, but whichever one you choose, you have to cut the opposite. So there's only one cut here, and that's detaching the lid from the base. Okay, DSP on, this one here, which is where you've got your lid separated. And I've chosen the back to black because obviously I was working with a black and white theme. So I've picked up that one. And over on this one, it's identical at this point in time, so it doesn't matter. So shall I swap the paper around? Yeah, let's have a different way around. Okie dokie. Right. Now, obviously, because it's soap going in here, I've got little holes here that you can smell through. You can see it probably better on that one. So that if Jax has got these on display, or if you've got these on display, you can have a good sniff without having to open the box. So it perfectly, it's the word window punch, and you push it in as far as you can go, which gets it to that depth, and you will see that you can peep through, and your DSP is exactly the right width. Did I tell you the DSP sizes? 4.5 by 9.5 centimetres, which is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. Okay, let's come and do the same here. So, oh no, that fell off. Oh, let's stick that back on. Make sure you put your adhesive all the way down to the bottom, like me. There we go, so that's back on. Okay, so this is the traditional box. So you need adhesive in your 6 little squares. So I'm going to use snail for speed because I had a fight with the fuse. I won. It's limping at the moment. I love fuse, it's marvellous. Okay, so this is the bottom of the box. So these 4 squares have got to come in and create the base. So and this one will form round. And you know I've said plenty of times you've got to notch into your boxes. This is why. If you didn't, you'd get these horrible sticky outy edges. And it's not because it's incorrectly measured, it's just because that's how cardstock is. Cardstock has got a depth to it. It's not, you know, there's no depth. So that's why you notch. There we go. So that's one box done. Now this one is slightly different. Now depending on the weight of your cardstock, we need to create a diagonal line that goes on the base part. All of the diagonal lines have got to point in this direction, so they've got to all point in like that. Look at me using a pen that doesn't work. They've all got to point in like that, so you can either push with your forefinger and your thumb and finger underneath to create it like that and just keep going round. It's up to you. You might not be you might be on a very heavy cardstock that's no good. The other thing you can do is literally score a line. So grabbing a ruler and you score from there to there. But the diagonal lines need to form in. And the same here. So basically every diagonal line you put in has got to form it, got to point towards the centre box. Oops. And that builds up the sides, and I'm just manipulating these with my fingers. So it depends on what, you know, really what kind of weight cardstock you're working with. So little bits of glue here. I'm just going to grab my snail again, and you're going for the triangle, because obviously you can see triangles that are closest to the middle, so that when you fold it over they just stick down. Oops. And then that opens up, and that's where Jax is going to put her soaps in there. And the same at the top. But what this will mean though is that when we close up the box with the soaps in, there's going to be a little bit of gapage at the front, so you need to put some more adhesive in there at the point that you want to send it out. So this is how it stores, totally flat like that. You could even get your decorations on there if you wanted to. But that's how it stores, and at the point that you put your soap in it or your gift, just in this top one, you could put it in the bottom as well if you want to, that creates a permanent close on the front of the box, so it doesn't gape open. So they look exactly the same. when they're finished. So it's just a case of decorating after that. You could put ribbon, you could put trim. I didn't get any out, so I shall grab some. This is cotton trim. I know it's white on there, but it's the one that I can reach closest. But actually the Naturals white is that sort of colour anyway. So a knot or a bow. And I know that, you know, I know all of you lovely people who make soaps, you obviously have to put your ingredients listings and what have you on your soaps. And obviously I know that Jack's is as well, so you have got a completely plain bottom that you can put all your ingredients listings on, and your, you know, your logos and your labels and tags and stuff like that. So Jack's, thank you very much for asking me to make this for you. And everybody else who's making soaps and gifts and things, I hope you enjoy them too. Bye.